What's up, people? I'm back in the garden today, and I'm going to be showing you a few different things that I do in order to get my plants ready for planting outside. I started my cucumber seeds in this vermiculite. This is the Stay Green brand, and you can see it's like, vermiculite is like really light, super light, and it absorbs water really well, and it actually aerates the soil. And what I did here is I mixed like half this bag of vermiculite in with this bag of the flower and vegetable garden soil. And this stuff comes with a little bit of fertilizer in it as well. And this is a cubic foot. This bag probably weighs about 30 or 40 pounds. I don't know exactly how much it weighs. I took a whole bag and I dumped it in this green bin, and it's real dark, real rich soil. And then I break up the clumps by hand, but I poured in a bunch of this vermiculite as well to sort of loosen up the soil and aerate it, because loose soil is actually really good soil, especially when you're just trying to start your seeds. So my favorite way to do it is to take these styrofoam cups, and obviously I've been using them for a couple years now, but they're still perfectly good. And I label them with what I'm going to be putting in the cup. This is going to be a pickling cucumber. I also make sure to poke some holes into the bottom. And then in these little bags, you can see I have some crazy looking plant starts in there. And what I did was I took just the vermiculite and I put a bunch of vermiculite in there, poured a little bit of water just to moisten things up, and then you drop a bunch of seeds in there. This bag has only been sitting on my counter for about a week, and so you can clearly see that after a week you're getting a ton of sprouts. A lot of seeds don't actually sprout. You're not going to get 100% germination from a seed bag, and you can clearly see that you'll know immediately which seeds will germinate and which won't. So planting outdoors the seed directly in the ground is not always the best case. I recommend to put them in a plastic bag, vermiculite or perlite, some water, drop the seeds in, shake it up, sit them in a warm spot on your counter or your refrigerator until they all start to germinate like this, and then you'll be able to just take these little seedlings out and plant them. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to reach into this little bag here, and I'm going to grab one of these little guys. And you can break up. You want to take one at a time. Take this guy here. And you can see, ooh, this looks like two of them. They're sort of intertwined, and that's okay, as long as you're real gentle. This is a seedling. You can see how long that root system is. I mean, this is just water and perlite, and they'd had no sunlight. That's why they're real yellow. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna poke a hole with my finger kind of deep into there, and then I'm gonna put that tail down into the hole. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so it's in there. That's the little seedling. So now you just got to give it a little water and some light, let it grow. And I'm going to do that for a whole bunch of these. I only plan on planting about 4, 6, maybe 8 cucumber plants. This is green beans. So you can see I just threw a bunch of my green beans. And actually these are the same beans that I grew last year. I just saved them over winter, so you never have to buy them again, right? And this, I'm sorry, these are green beans. I labeled them green beans. This is corn. I've never grown corn before, so it's gonna be really interesting. I'll show you guys what that looks like when I'm done. Alright guys, I am going to go ahead and mix up my fertilizer today. I'm using the Mittleiter blend that they recommend, which is the all-purpose 13-13-13 mixed with Epsom salt, a little bit of vermiculite. They actually recommended perlite or vermiculite, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw in the Midlighter micro mineral blend. I'm also going to make their pre-plant mix with some pelletized lime. This is the calcium source, more Epsom salt, and a little bit of borax. All that is going to get mixed into these two buckets, one for the weekly feed, one for the pre-plant. And I'm going to use my bathroom scale in order to measure it all out properly. No. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys actually a little bit of a tour because I've already been doing this. And after we had picked up all those plants that were in these sort of containers, we pulled them all out and put them in the cups, which contain a lot more soil, so they can get more nutrients. And then we separated them so they're individual too, so you get one plant in each cup. And that's going to give it plenty of space in order for it to grow while we are waiting for the weather. In my area, our plant date is after the first week of May. You can see I got all my tomato plants, pepper plants. They all look pretty good. I think they took to the transplanting pretty well. I have a few yellowish leaves back in there that I'll probably prune off in a little while. But all in all, they look pretty good. A few of these tomato plants got some yellowish leaves. And then after, this is what hopefully my cucumbers, beans, and corn that I'm going to plant will look like in a couple of weeks. Tomatoes and peppers, you got to start those things early, 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date, if you're going to start them from seed. And by the time you're ready to plant them outside, you'll have actual plants to put in the ground instead of putting seeds in the ground, because they just take way too long to start to grow.